And for today's episode, we're going to do a recap on last week's price action on Euro USD. Let's get right into it. First of all, let me play my shower. Now, for Euro USD, I'm sure we all know what has been happening. The complete bearish market has been happening since the beginning of October. I'm just going to mark up the first, or should I say, the beginning of this week to the ending of the week, so we know exactly where it's important to us. Now, in marking up price action like this is 4 hour time frame. First of all, this is totally the 4 hour time frame on Euro USD, and this recap covers for week 2 of October. Now, let's dive into it. Now, we understand how the market moves, right? Or should I say, how I trade rather, which we work from the narrative of price moving from one range to what? To the other. And a very simple thing like that. So now let's look at the charts that we have here. On Monday, what happened on Monday? On Monday, we have this low, right? On Monday, this low got taken out. This high was taken out on Friday, which is the previous week before this one. On Friday, it took out this high, which intentionally has told us what this low is what invalid. Remember, the narrative is as long as it doesn't give you a valid break of structure here, this low is what invalid, and price is likely going to take it out. So now, looking at the market and looking at everything we have here, we understood that price is going to take out what this low, right? So we can say that this was what our first target for the entire week. This was our first target. Now, in order to target there, we have to look for what entries, right? We have to look for entries to support the notion and all of that. Now, when we go down to the smaller time frame, after market has opened for Monday, right? After market has opened for Monday, remember this is where I am targeting. This place entirely. This is the low that I'm targeting since the beginning of what of the week. But now something that happened that baffled me was that price did not even give me the chance of entering this at all. When I say at all, I mean at all. Price did not give the chance of entering it at all. So throughout on Monday we didn't really trade anything. We didn't have any trade entirely because of what the market did. But now the market completed the range. If you can look, if you remember what I've been saying, price moves from one range to the other. And once price has finished a range, automatically a new range has been what created. That is just the basic narrative of how price moves. Once price has taken out a range, a new range has been created. It's just like assuming you're in a community where I drop all this information, you see there. It's just like you have a range of let's say price creates a new high. As price has created a new high, right? This is where our break of structure is. I'm sure we all know that this is where our break of structure is. But in the case that price is coming like this, while waiting for it to give us what's clear confirmation before buying, and then market moves like this and buys completely. Now we have created what? We have taken out what the previous range, which was that high and this low. They have finished their work. But now what has happened? Price gave us what break of structure here. Not this major one here. Price has given us a break of structure here and not this one. Now, the instant we had this break of structure, that's when we could see or wait for whenever price returns back, give us something clear of a clear confirmation, and then it buys back. Now, price has taken out what? This range. It has completed this range. Now, where's our new range? It is here. The price did what? This is our new what? Protected low. And this is what our range high. So price is going to do whatever it likes. Whenever it is ready for the range, it continues again. And then where's the break of structure here? Not this high. Price has finished with this high. So this high not really concern anybody here. Now this is where our break of structure is, and this is what our new protected low and what new range high. This is just a very simple way of how the ranges work, right? A very simple analogy of how the ranges work in direct. So now let's go back to the charts and look at the ranges that price created. Now price created this range, which is this low, and then where's the other this high. So now what happened here is that price has taken out what? This range. Now after price has taken out this range, this is no longer valid. Here it's no longer valid. Now where is the valid place? Here that price created what? A break of structure. You can see that price did what here? It had a movement of what? This is the low that created this high, that created this low. It had something like this sort of movement. And what is this type of movement? We call it our what? Our usual break of structure and the rest, right? We call it our usual break of structure and the rest format like that. Now, continuing what I was saying. Now, after price has given us this, where's our protected range level? The new range is where from this low, sorry, from that high to this low, which is anything make price go above this high. We are no longer looking for what sales. We're going to start having a change of buyers. We're going to start having a change in sentiment and thereabouts. So now, waiting for everything to happen, we have our what our break of structure here. Now, this was what we were waiting for on Tuesday. We're waiting for price to come back to give us a certain reaction, then trade with it. Now, price came back. Um, if we look at Euro USD from the daily time frame perspective, you can see that this is what this is a very clear order block for entry, or should I call it my supply for entry. Now, I'm coming. Let's take us a daily time frame. This is the daily time frame, and this was like on Tuesday, right? I'm not sure you'll be able to see it properly, so let me just continue what I was saying here. Now, this is where we have a proper supply on the 4 hour time frame. Now, when you have proper supply on the 4 hour time frame, there's no point in you still scaling down to the lower time frame, especially when it is within a protected level. If it's within a protected level, there's no point in you. It's just like the same risks you are taking, because the same risks you are going to take when you scale down to a lower time frame. You enter somewhere here, you enter somewhere. Let's say maybe you are entering somewhere here, and obviously you're still going to look for a way to place your stop loss here. I hope you understand what I mean there, because that's where the setup has been invalidated, right? Or the bias has been invalidated. So in this one entirely, we entered during the open of the new day. Why? Because I wanted to confirm where the previous day was gonna close. And then we have something similar like this. And then we target where my usual target is 1 to 4 hour. 1 is to 4. So this is where exactly I was targeting. And then this is how this trade played out on Tuesday, crossing over to Wednesday. That is. Now, look at what has happened again. This is where we have marked up this trade that it has occurred, right? That one has occurred. Simple and that. Now, price has done what again? It has cleared out what? This low. After I cleared out this low, these two ranges now have gone in, they have gone extinct. They are no longer useful anymore to us right now. Now, what is useful to us is here that price has created. This is what price has created. Remember the range. Price has given us what? A new break of structure. So as long as price doesn't break this high, it gives us retracement from this low. This is where, as long as it's inside here, it still has the bias of what? Of the sales. So that's what we're going to technically that's what we're technically waiting for, right? That's what we're technically waiting for. So now price has given me what? A very sweet new range, which is from this high. We waited through on Wednesday. There wasn't really much to do on Wednesday to this low. From this high, anything making price go above this high, this range is no longer valid. Anything making price go below what? This low. I'm coming. Let me clear this shit off here so we can all see it. Anything that makes price go below this low, it's no this range is no longer valid. This range entirely is no longer valid. I hope you understand me there. Like, I'm just using the 4 hour to explain so that we'll understand everything. When a range is created, this is the scenario that I want everybody to know. Once a range has been created like this, we have a valid break of structure here. Once price comes down inside, it gives you a confirmation, or thereabout comes to the other block that is here, or the supply or demand. You can easily take it to where? To the next external high, which is the range high. Then now what price did is what? It has created what? A new range. This is from here to this high. So now in the case that price comes from this high, comes down a little bit like this, doesn't give you any clear entry, and then takes the high out like this, it just literally tells us that what this range is no longer in use. That what is in use now is what is this one here. This low is the one that is what in use. I hope you all understand what I'm talking about. Well, they're about to move. Now for the range low, this is the range low that was taken out here. After this range low was taken out, this is throughout entirely on Tuesday, Wednesday. We didn't take any serious trades there about, yeah. So throughout Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, we didn't take any good or nice trades there. So the next thing that happened was this. Take note of this. Now the next thing that happened was that price came back and took out this high. I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to teach it here, or I'll drop the pre-recorded video soon or later. Let me use this one to make it a bit clear. We can take note and see that what price created what. If you understand how candles behave around each other, you understand narratives. And then narratives deals with ranges and all of that and more and more. So now price took out this low. After price took out this low, did it close under the low? No, it did not. So after price not closing under the low, our next intent move or price intent is to take out what this invalid high. Same thing that I explained here. Whenever price goes and take out a range level, which is this high is a range, this low is a range. So now price came back and took out this high. After taking out the high, did it close there? No, it did not. It did not give like a break of structure or something there. No, it did not. Yeah, now did it give you a break of structure? No, it didn't. So what are you going to focus on? You're going to focus on price going back to where it came from originally. So now this is the point of origin where it came from. Took it out, gave you a confirmation, but this one is not within any sessions during the Asian session. So we don't really trade Euro years during the Asian session and then waiting. Now price came back, took the high out. After I took the high out, that was like the opening of London session. And then we're waiting for a sell, a bearish candle just like this to enter the market. Just like this. Why are we doing this? It's the same format again, it's just in a flip zone. It's just in a flip way rather. Because here price closed price took out the low but didn't close. Here price took out the high and didn't close above. So what exactly is the next target? The next target is going to be at what? Our low. If you look at it now, this is the low that is going to be what? The next target. And I'm sure plenty of us will cut this move when it occurred. There are smaller time frames entry, like 30 minutes, 5 minutes entry inside. I'll get down into the details of that, but first let's understand the higher time frame. Now, after price took out this low, now where's our proper break of structure? It has finished, this range has been finished. This entire range from this low to this high, the range has ended. So now we'll put a X on them. We're going to put an X on them. And now we're going to look at the new range price has created, which is from this high to this low, to this low, right here. Because why? Price broke structure here. It gave a what? A valid break of structure here. Now that price has given a valid break of structure, there are two things we could do. We could easily wait for a lower time frame confirmation to enter and swing it to this leg. Or in other cases, we can come here and place it. And then once price reacts from it, we take it to this low, right? And all of that. Now, looking at what structure has given here, this is why on Friday, I think I took a loss here on Friday because this candle has given me the verification that I was needing, and then price shot up and all of that. So now, looking at everything that we had here, this is how I'm telling you that price is moving from one angle to the next angle to what? To a different range and also creates a new range. One of these days, I'm going to go live on YouTube and we'll analyze live on YouTube then we'll be trading live. That's if it could really work out with you guys and everything. Now let's get down into the charts on a smaller time frame. Now we're done talking about what the larger time frames. Let's go into the smaller time frame and get a more clear hypnosis of everything here. All right, so All right. So now going down into the smaller time frame. The smaller time frame I'm talking about is from 30 minutes and the rest. Now remember, the H4 time frame here on Monday did what? It gave us a clear break of structure here, and we could see reaction from this point, right? We could see reaction is still sorry. We could see that price hasn't broke what this high, so we have a valid high here, and also we have a valid low here. Now what do? We go down to 30 minutes time frame. The open of London session. The open of what London session here. Now, if when we come down to the smaller time frame before 6 o'clock, that is before 6 a.m., what I do, which is pre-London session, what I do is I just mark up the supply here. This is a very clean supply that mixed with what the fair value gap here. Now, the purpose for this setup, or the reason why this setup is valid, is because one, price has taken out the low that created that high, which is the supply and all of that. Now, what could you do? What we could do was, I don't know, there was a way I slept off and then I missed this entire trade here and there. But now, this is how the entire trade played out. This is exactly how the trade played out spectacularly. It played out very wonderful, or should I say wonderfully. Now, remember, this trade is coming from the idea of where? Of the higher time frame. Note, I'm using the 30 minutes here. Understand where I'm using the time frames to interlude with each other. I'm using this higher time frame here to interlude. Sorry, I'm using this 30 minutes time frame to interlude with what the higher time frame, so as to get what a clean confirmation to where to the destination of price. All right. Now, aside from that, where else did we look into? We looked into this one as well. Remember, let me take you to the 4 hour time frame so you see exactly what I'm talking about. Remember this move that happened here, right? Remember this move that happened here when price took out this low, came back, took out this high, and then started what? Crushing down. We knew that there's one thing in understanding where price is going to. There's another thing with what? Following that intent of what? Of price. Now we understood that price is going here. Price giving us this one on the higher time frame, which is on the 4 hour time frame. Went down to 30 minutes. Going down to 30 minutes, I don't really see any entry yet. The only entry I could see was the supply from this point, like this. And the way I was saying price, it wasn't showing the intent of what having that much pullback before coming again. So when I saw price mitigate the fair value gap and it gave me this bearish candle here, the next thing I did was I went down to 5 minute time frame. I went down into the 5 minute time frame. I looked for my supply here. I'm looking for supply. Where is it? The supply is just here, checking out. And then we already understand where price intent is or where price direction is, right? So now all I have to do was follow such and then just come like this. 1 is to 4, and this was this. Now you can see the two setups that I brought out. These are following the same narrative I had from the higher time frame. So take note, I'm not just going into the small time frames looking for minor setups. I'm following the narrative from the bigger time frame down to the small time frame. Why? So that if everything is interluding with each other, I will have a more better corresponding result and the rest. Going back to our 4 hour time frame. I'm going back to the 4 hour time frame. This was on a Friday thereabouts when we had this candle that confirmed everything we are looking for, which is the 10 o'clock candle. Then I went down to my 30 minutes time frame. I'm looking for supplies. Here was where I found the supply. This was where I found the supply to be. And then I took my entry from here. Took my entry from here, placing it down somewhere for R. Yeah. But the main trade management, this sort of the main management to this sort of trades is you basically wait once price reaches this line, which is the major price intent. You take your partials and then you let it be, right? You let it be. Now, if I'm coming out to say something, now, during this entire week, I had like a lot of setups this week. I think there about when I calculated everything, there about almost six thereabouts here. Both from the higher time frame perspective that we understood was bearish, going down to where to the lower time frames to enter and all of that. Now, if you watch the last recap of the previous week, you could see that I literally positioned price coming down to take here out as the next price intent. That's if you watch the video. Now I'm going to give a clearer one or give a recent one for what? For the new week that is ahead, which is the second week or whatever week. Sorry, the third week of October. Yeah, the third week of October. Now the major outlook that I have for this market or for this time is this. Just relax. Let me show you something. Now remember I said this was the protected high, right? This was the protected high. And in this protected high, price took it out. So intentionally, or should I say, in the entire movement of price, my entire bias has been cut off, which is the bias I had to sell to this level has entirely been what cut off. Now, what happened now with price? Where is price now? Price has taken out what this level, this high, right? It has taken the high, which it has invalidated what this range, this entire range itself. It has invalidated the range itself. Now, for this new week that is going to come, after price has invalidated the range, what happened before price invalidated the range? It gave me what? A break of structure here. Now, this break of structure that we're seeing here is as valid as whatever we need else again. So what I'll be waiting for next week is for some sort of pullback. Then we have a bearish anyway entirely we find our demand and then we take it what to end what the range, because for now this is the range, the new range that price has created until further note. So keep steady and to keep note of everything that's happening in this market. And if you want more insights, just join the Telegram group. Insights will be dropped almost every day, especially on Euro USD. We'll catch you guys in the next recap. Have a wonderful day.